Let's talk about something we all think about, attraction. You know, there's this idea that you're either born with it or you're not, like it's some kind of genetic lottery. But what if that's not true at all? What if attraction is actually a skill, something you can learn, you can practice, and you can get really, really good at? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today, the real habits of true, lasting attraction.
So get this, they say it takes just 7 seconds. 7, that's it. In that tiny little window, someone forms a first impression of you. Talk about pressure, right? A judgment is made, just like that. But you know what? That's not the whole story, not even close.
Because let's be honest, a first impression can disappear just as fast as it showed up. What we're really looking for is something that sticks around, something deeper. What is it that creates that lasting, positive vibe that people remember way after you've left the room?
And here's the secret. It's not about having a perfect face or a certain body type. It's all about the energy you put out there. And that energy? It's built on things like being present, being kind, and having a quiet confidence that, believe it or not, anyone can learn to build. All right, so let's jump into our first core habit. This one is a simple but really powerful shift in your mindset. Stop trying so hard to be interesting and start focusing on being genuinely interested in other people.
I love this distinction because it's such a game changer. See, most of us walk into a conversation trying to be the star, right? We've got our best stories ready, our funniest jokes lined up. We're trying to grab that attention. But the person who's truly magnetic, they do the opposite. They try to be the spotlight, shining it on the other person to make them feel like the star.
And look how simple this is. You don't need some kind of masterclass in conversation. All you need is genuine curiosity. Asking questions like these, they go way past the usual small talk. They invite someone to actually share what's going on inside. And that shows them you don't just want to hear their story, you want to understand it.
And you know, that whole idea of focusing on others, it leads perfectly into our second habit, learning to give compliments that do more than just flatter someone. They actually build a real connection.
This is such a critical difference. A surface-level compliment, hey, nice shoes, it's fine. But it's forgettable, isn't it? It's about a thing. But a soul-level compliment, that's about who a person is. When you notice a quality in their character, that's something they'll remember. It proves you're paying attention to who they are, not just what they own.
So how do you actually do it? Well, it's pretty much a simple 3-step thing. First, you notice a quality that actually matters. Maybe their patience during a crazy meeting or the effort they put into something. Second, you just explain the effect it had on you. Something like, wow, I really admired how you handled that. It actually helped me calm down too. And then the last step is the easiest. Just say it with sincerity. That's it. That's the whole formula for a compliment that really connects.
Okay, up next, a subtle but really powerful shift in how we talk. The big idea here is that real confidence isn't about being the loudest person in the room. Not at all. It's about being clear, being direct, and just feeling assured in your own voice. Just look at the energy difference here. It's night and day, right? The first one is so apologetic. It's like you're saying, sorry to be a bother. It makes you seem small. The second one is polite, it's direct, and it's confident. It doesn't shrink. And the key thing is, when you start cutting out that self-diminishing language, you change how people see you. And maybe even more important, you change how you see yourself.
And this quote just nails it. Confidence isn't a performance. It's not about volume. It's an internal thing. It's that quiet, steady feeling that what you have to say is valuable, and you don't need to apologize for taking up a little space in the world.
So once you're communicating with that quiet confidence, you start creating a safe space for other people. And that brings us to our fourth habit, the art of validation. This is all about making people feel genuinely seen and heard. And let me tell you, this is maybe one of the most powerful ways to build real trust.
When someone opens up to you, they're basically handing you a little piece of their trust. The most attractive thing you can do in that moment is just handle it with care. Simple phrases like the ones you see here are incredibly powerful. You're not saying you agree with them necessarily, you're just communicating respect. You're telling them it's safe to feel that way here, and that's something every single one of us needs to hear.
All right, our fifth and final habit is all about the bookends of an interaction. Psychologically, we tend to remember the beginning of something and the end of it most clearly. It's a real thing. So if you can nail those two moments, you're way more likely to leave a lasting, positive impression.
And this list just shows how simple these actions are. But man, we forget them all the time when we're in a rush. Starting with a real smile and using someone's name, it makes them feel instantly seen and important. And ending with warmth, a sincere, "Hey, it was really great talking to you," it leaves them with this positive emotional feeling. It wraps the entire conversation up in a really memorable, positive way.
This quote really just sums up everything we've been talking about. Your cleverest stories, your funniest jokes, they fade. But that feeling, the feeling of being seen, of being heard, or being valued, that sticks. That is the heart of true attraction.
So, if there's one big takeaway, it's this. True attraction isn't something you have, it's something you create in other people. It's the emotional echo you leave in a room long after you've walked out. It's that feeling of warmth and respect and kindness that you inspire.
And that brings us to the end. You know, all these ideas are great, but they don't mean much until you actually put them into practice. So as we wrap up, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Looking back at everything we've covered, which one of these habits are you going to consciously try to practice today?